What's going on? What you doing? Hitting that thing.
We're doing glute and hams today. So what is going on, guys? It's been a hot minute since I filmed. Sorry for the echo. I actually defend in 1 week from today. Today is June 16th. My defense is on June 23rd, so wish me luck, but I have been extremely busy, to say the least. So right now I'm going to be focusing on a glute and hamstring workout, which actually centers around the fact that I am really busy, so it's going to be an efficient workout, but it's also going to be a very effective workout. I hope you enjoy. Keep a lookout for my PhD recap video. That being said, we're gonna get started with the first exercise. Well, hello. So, as I've been working my way through the final months of my PhD, I've been crazy busy. So my training has to be done ideally within an hour. This workout will be prioritizing efficiency without losing quality. The first 2 movements will be glute isolation movements, and the second 2 will be hamstring isolation movements, and finishing off with a glute burnout. Getting into the first exercise, it is no secret that if one wants to grow thy glutes, then one must hip thrust. This, as you may know already, has been popularized by the glute king himself, Brett Contreras. According to all the recent literature, hip thrusts elicit the highest glute EMG activation while limiting the activation of your quads, which is what most women want. Therefore, this is a great glute isolation exercise. You've probably seen this exercise all over the interwebs. However, it isn't exactly the easiest to set up, which is why I'm setting this up on a Smith machine. And I do this simply for the sake of convenience and the sake of time. The proper way is to get a barbell and plate load it. However, getting a barbell, loading all the weights and such can be very timely. And as I said in the intro, we are striving for quick. And although the Smith machine gets a lot of hate, it actually is a very useful piece of equipment. Using a Smith machine is extremely effective and a much faster way to do this movement if you don't have hours to spend in the gym. If you do, then it is slightly more optimal to use a barbell, but not by much, according to the glute king himself. Additionally, the hip thrust can be an awkward movement at first, so I'd recommend this variation not only for the sake of time, but if you're new to hip thrusting. The Smith machine offers extra stability and the added perception of safety. I do 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps while increasing weight with each set. Make sure to really thrust and contract your glutes at the top, and make sure not to drop your head back, which is a commonly made mistake. Keep your head neutral, looking forward. The second movement is using the same setup. Don't forget the efficiency factor. And it is to do this movement in a single leg variation. You will have to drop the weight back a bit, but you will still want to perform the movement by contracting hard at the top and keeping your spine neutral. And again, I do 4 sets on each leg this time of 10 to 12 reps. Also, I just want to make note that you should be keeping track of the weight that you're doing, as you should be implementing progressive overload each week. And yes, you can do this with the single leg movements as well by increasing the weight as you progress. Next, we are moving on to the hammies, and these exercises are ones that I don't commonly see done on the tubes, but they are great hamstring isolation movements. The first one is called a prisoner extension, which I also stole from Brett Contreras, an exercise he wrote a blog post about a year ago. And I have pretty strong hamstrings, and I find this to be kind of challenging, so definitely don't underestimate it. I love this because it requires no setup or plate loading. You just need a 45-degree hyperextension machine and you're good to go. You need to make the height at hip level and set yourself up with only a single leg. Your arms are going to be positioned prisoner style, hence the name, and you will bend at the hinge and use your hamstring to raise your body back up. Without using weight, Contreras touts this exercise effectiveness by its ability to increase the torque loading at the hip by increasing the lever length of the torso's center of mass. I highly recommend you give it a shot. The next movement is a GHR, but not just any old GHR or glute ham raise, and this is simply because this piece of equipment is not commonly found at every gym. I've coined this movement to be a Superman GHR, and I've been MacGyvering this movement for years. You just need a machine that has a bench and knee pads. There will always be one piece of equipment like this at almost every gym, and that you can most likely rig it to do this exercise. Often it's a lat pull down, but whatever you find will do. And I'm not going to lie, this movement is not easy. Most people I introduce this to struggle at first, but there's a way to graduate to the level I've worked up to. You can start by putting your hands on the floor to help you up
but you really want to be isolating your hamstrings to pull the weight of your body back up without using your arms. Then you can move on to keeping a narrow bend at your hips to do it almost by lowering your head underneath the seat. It makes it a little bit easier. As you progress, you can start by straightening your body as you extend outward. Your hamstrings will be and should be burning. I do 4 sets of about 12 to 15 reps, and if you're some sort of Jedi and need this to be even more challenging, try hugging a plate as you become more advanced. And lastly, I like to do a finisher exercise, like a seated band glute abduction. This exercise, known as a pumper exercise, is shown to elicit high metabolic stress, one of the 3 proposed drivers of muscle hypertrophy. It is done with low resistance and high reps, and I will typically do 2 sets to failure, which, depending on how heavy the resistance band is about 30 to 50 reps. If you don't have a band, you can just use the abductor machine on a low weight and just rep it out. And with that, you can achieve an efficient but also extremely effective workout in about 45 minutes. I really hope you like this video of just a workout. If you did, please like the video, and if you're new, I hope you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!